Welcome back. We're here for another amazing Testimony Tuesday. And today I have the amazing privilege of speaking with Darvia Squared. Hey, girls.
Hey.
So for the purposes of this video, we are going to call Darvia number 1, Darvia, and we're going to call Darvia number 2, Kennedie. Darvia Squared is family. They are my cousins. And so we have such a great bond and a great relationship. And I just figured it would be a great opportunity for us to kind of talk about not only family, but then also humility, because we're in December. And so we're talking about humility and hearing from them about some things that they've been experiencing over the last few months. Kennedie, how would you define humility?
Being vulnerable and honest about your situation and taking the steps, even though they're not like the shiny, beautiful, refined steps. Like, understand that everything is a process and going through the good and the bad and the ugly to get where you're going.
Darvia, how would you define humility?
The act of being humble, which entails a person to be able to be open, to be honest, most of all, and to understand and be okay with when the light is not shining on you, that you're still an integral part of whatever kind of magic that needs to happen or whatever the situation is. It's okay to be the wind beneath the wing, and it's okay to just be someone that is not in the limelight and still be very important to a person or whatever is going on. But anyway, I would also like to say this is also an amazing privilege. The pleasure is all ours to be interviewed by you. So
you brought up a really good point when you said that sometimes we have to be okay with being on the sidelines and just cheering on that person that may be experiencing that glory or that victory. How do you think we get to that point? I think a lot of times as millennials, and Kennedie, you probably can agree or disagree with this, but as millennials and seeing a lot of the things that we see with social media and the news and all the things that are changing or that have changed since we were younger, there's a lot of microwave success that happens, and there's a lot of I'm doing it, but so-and-so did it better, so how do I compete with them? And I think that sometimes we get a little fearful, and instead of saying, although we're doing the same thing, you can't do what I can do as well as I can do it. And so how do you think you get to that point of celebrating someone else's win, even if it involves your step back?
Well, I love to see other people succeed, and I feel good if I had anything to do with it. If you're only celebrating your successes, then you're like blocking out so many other successes you could be celebrating all the time. I'd rather celebrate daily instead of just wait on myself to be successful. So I love it. I am not that humble when it comes to her because I try my best to bag. She keeps me in a box, but I try my best not to, but she's not going to do it. So yeah, I do love to talk about her successes. They're definitely directly related to me, and
of course.
I absolutely acknowledge that I couldn't do a lot of things that both of you have done in your short lives already. And so I am proud about that. And I get to celebrate y'all all the time instead of just waiting on myself.
So you mentioned that a lot of times you see Kennedie and my success as your success. Kennedie, how do you stay humble when you have family rooting for you so hard, and like friends like constantly encouraging you, telling you like you're doing so well, you're doing, like how do you stay in that, how do you have that balance?
It's easy because I'm like, even if I made it this far and they're proud, I got so much farther to go, such a long way to go. And so I think I'm like, gotta stay the course. So like, can't get distracted, can't let my head get too big because I'm nowhere near done.
Yeah.
And so that keeps me grounded. Today might be a success, but tomorrow is a whole nother battle.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that and relate to that, because I think for me sometimes it's an insecurity. Like a lot of times I think parents say, you got further than I did, so you're doing well. But for me, that was never the standard. Like the standard was never just to do better than my mom. Like the standard was to be great. Like, it's not about like one upping her or making sure that, I do better. It's about making sure that I set the standard for people that are coming behind me and letting them know that if I'm able to accomplish all these things, then why can't you, become a doctor? Why can't you become a lawyer? Why can't you achieve your goals regardless of where they take you in life, and regardless of what obstacles you experience? And I think a lot of times, because I didn't see someone in front of me doing the things that I'm doing or doing the things that I want to do, I feel like a flailing fish out of water.
It's like uncharted territory. Like we're on this expedition and we're calling each other and we don't know anything. We're the blind leading the blind, and somehow we're making it happen.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you all are also encouraging to one another. And that gives you joy in your heart, as far as you don't have to, you can stay humble and still feel good,
Yeah.
Yeah. People need people. That's one of my main mottos. People need people. So,
and I think it's important to have those people around you that see your success and call it out, because, like you said, you may not be where you want to be, but it's important for people to say, this is where you came from and you've made so much progress. And so even though it's not where you want to be, it's still a step in the right direction. And every step matters, because you fight tooth and nail to get that step and to make sure that that step is in the right direction to where you want to go. Because we face so many obstacles. Like, you have to celebrate those wins regardless of how small they really are.
And
well, she doesn't, but I do.
But I think that's important that you do, because it's important to have people to make you stop and celebrate, to make you realize like that, yes, you are working hard and you deserve to celebrate yourself every now and then, just because you're not done.
People are following her journey. Not only that, people are following her journey that don't have access to her. They're genuinely interested. But I also know that her journey can be inspiring to other people, such as students. That teaches you to be humble, though.
Yeah.
When you're on new grounds, like you said, uncharted territory, you have to, seek information from other people and you have to just have blind trust sometimes in others and rely on people's good nature. And when you receive that, I think that it allows you to be able to also pay it forward and give it back in some other way and some other time,
What are some ways that you've had to exhibit or like show humility to your mom?
Being like honest about the situation, even though like there is no new level of humility I can reach with my mom, because she literally knows everything all the time as it happens, as things are developing. She's the first person I always call. So like there's no new level of like, okay, now I have to be vulnerable and strip off everything and let her know this, because she already knows it. And so that's just how our relationship has always been. Like never, there's no secrets, even if she don't want to know what she knows. So
did you have that relationship with your mom growing up, Darvia?
Absolutely not. But I'm really just like my mother. I think my mother just is the type of person that did a great job, and then at the age appropriate time just trusts my judgment. And so She don't ask a lot of questions. I don't either. I don't, if I don't need to know it, I'm okay with it. She's not that type of person, and neither am I. So I think that minding our business is, what we do. If I see things going to the level where I need to intervene, I will have no problem with, putting my opinion on the table. But at the end of the day, I feel like everyone has their own journey, however they choose to go about that journey. If they make mistakes, and however they handle that mistake might cause them to be in the valley. They may be in the valley longer or than they needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
If they're intelligent and they listen to their mama, they can skip the valleys, because I'd have been through the valleys. But everyone has their own journey, and I can't make decisions for adults. I just hope that I can input into them all the equipment and knowledge, tools, and skills that they need to make good choices. But no one is perfect. Someone will fall into the valley, and you do learn a whole lot in the valley. You learn a lot in the valley. Yeah. But yeah, I remember, when Kennedy was going through a phase around 3rd or 4th grade, I know what I looked like when I was at her age, and I had a picture, and I gave her this picture, like, don't worry, things gonna turn out all right, I'm still glowing up, she said, because that picture was hideous. I had big goggle glasses on, big ugly afro, satin. I remember that satin.
We had the same face.
But I said, if you don't like the way you're looking in your natural plait braids or your natural hair, just take a look at this picture and know that things will get better for you. Yes, it's not that bad. You're all right.
So, since you had that relationship with your mom and you now have that relationship with your daughter, what do you think is the key component to making her feel like she can be vulnerable, like she can, tell you all of her secrets and all of her dirt and know that you're not going to judge her?
She was a witness to me. She was with me when I had to move back with my mom,
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a family where, we all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about making mistakes and dwelling on them. You stumble, you fall. We're about moving forward, and let's try not to make the same mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do make a mistake, it's not ending. The world isn't going to end. And so that's just kind of the way we are in our whole family. I feel, So she's seen everybody in this family, stumble, and we're all gonna just rally and push them back forward, No time to say you shouldn't have did this. And of course that might come out, but at the end of the day, I can't stay on nothing negative like that. So yeah, moving forward. Let's fix things. Let's move forward. So
But I
I
want
don't
to
want.
point out that everyone in our family doesn't have that perspective, that mindset. Everyone is not that
forgiving, understanding.
And the reason why is because
honest.
they have not had experiences yet. And trust me, sooner or later, they will have experiences that is, gonna let them see the light where you can't stay stuck.
mm-hmm.
You can't stay you can't keep someone in a box and keep them. You can't.
Yeah.
And the more a person explores the world, that's where they stumble and fall. If you try to protect this little birdie in this box and think that this birdie is gonna not ever make any mistakes, one day this bird is gonna leave that nest. And when that bird leaves the nest, then that's when people will learn these type of lessons, that
Mm-hmm.
everyone is not, And of course, the longer you keep a caged bird caged,
I'm glad you got that, what we was putting down.
there is no telling how far they're going to fly or how many times they're going to fly right into a wall based on the fact that, see, exactly. And I always look at every stage in life like it's training.
Mm-hmm.
Training should not start
when the game starts.
Right. Training don't start at first year of college. No. Now I'm afraid for real.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to hold you back for real because I don't know if you're ready.
Right.
Because I know whereas to be honest, I pushed this one out on all kind of situations. I wouldn't say prematurely because I feel like I knew she was ready before maybe she did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why at no point in time when she was away did I feel like she wasn't prepared for whatever it was that she was about to experience. Even new things that she's never experienced on the home turf.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew she was ready based on all the other years of different experiences she's been through, absent of me, but on the training grounds of just being in the same city, So she's always home, but everything was a lesson. Mm-hmm. Going downtown, friends, hanging with friends, choosing friends, all of this was lessons. So yeah, people will get it. As soon as that bird leaves that cage, that's when the real training is gonna start. So that's my opinion.
Kennedy, what do you think sets the foundation for y'all's relationship?
Me.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I know that's Kennedy's question.
Kennedy.
Go ahead, I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, like the foundation for our relationship, I'm gonna say it starts all the way with Marie. Like, from what I know, the way Marie is with her daughters and is the way that her daughters are with their daughters and son, and that's the way that they are with their children as far as us, and how we like linearly our relationships reflect each other's, because I could ask Marie anything and I'm sure she'll tell me, and she'll give it to me real honest and dirty, not sugar-coated. And so I always used to tell my friends, like, my family is mean. Like, we're all women and we are all mean, and as I experienced other people just through going through college and seeing how other people grew up, it's like, we're not mean, we're just honest. And as easy as I can say we're mean, the truth is we're honest and we're caring, and it's not brutally honest. It's all for refinement, and it's all for construction to make each other better. And I think that's what's at the standard of us being open with each other, just so that if I'm feeling some type of way or I'm going through something, whatever she tells me will make me better.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned from grandmother?
She is the most humble person.
Yeah.
This is her every time. I just love it. You say, happy birthday, grandmother. Here's your gift. Nah, it's just a piece of paper. Oh, baby. Oh, so beautiful. She is so for real about this.
Yeah.
I love that about her. She is the kindest, but like she said, the realest person you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's valued. And I appreciate being, from her. She's the root her being the root in this family is definitely, I think, key to its success. Mm-hmm. And people are calling her every day, all day, having discussions about issues and things, because her perspective is uncanny. Her perspective is just very for the most part, up until recently, you know, I could agree with almost everything she'd always say. And she put her family first type of person, you know.
I'll say, you know, from grandmother, I got Karen. I'll never forget. I was like 8. I don't know. I was young, but they had built this park on the corner of their block. And we used to go to the store across the street from the park, come back to the park and eat snacks, juice, whatever, and play. And it was this little boy. I don't know who he was with, but I don't know where this child came from. But grandmother picked this boy up and put him on her lap, and she's like drinking some juice, and she gives him the juice, and I was like, you don't know that little boy? Like, why would you put your lips on the same juice as this little boy? And she was like, Kennedy, relax. Like, this little boy needs love too. And from that to just last week before Thanksgiving, when she was on the phone with her sister wanted to pay for some food, even though she was joking, and Marie got so mad, like, we don't charge our family for anything. And like, just giving unconditionally and giving your love and sharing your love and your care, just the way she absolutely had attitude and was mad at her sister for offering to pay for dinner, to the same breath leaving the house that cold day and taking her sister food, and the same way she picked up that little boy and gave him her juice and shared that same juice with him. It's just like being unconditional and caring, and that's the reason why I am so into service, and the reason why I can't wait to become a nurse and all of that, just because, yeah, she will give her last to everybody. And so I appreciate that we all love hard. And we are intentional about making sure that the people that we care about know that. And so that's what I took from all of them. Marie, Joyce, Auntie Pam, Tina, my mama, everybody.
Your mama.
Your mama.
I love the passion. Like, I remember specifically like my graduation. And to me, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's just, you know.
Your graduation?
Yeah.
Fun times.
Was it?
Ooh. Kennedy. Okay.
So to me, it was like, you know, just, granted, it was a big deal, but it meant more to you guys than it meant to me. And I think my mom was the beginning of that, and seeing how happy it made her and how much joy she had in that moment, then allowing that to translate into the family, and seeing how all of y'all literally like showed, like, not just like were there physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like everyone showed up for me. And you guys like literally were like, we're here, we love you, we support you, like what you're doing matters, what you're doing is important. And I think for me, that was one of the first times that I like saw it, like, you know, because I didn't grow up in Chicago. I didn't have that that closeness with you guys, as often as I would have liked to.
Right.
And so seeing it firsthand with that big of an impact was just like, wow. You know, like it really solidified in me that like, I have a great family, and like, we are great people, and we're going to do great things. And it was just a reminder of, you know, you're loved, you're cared for, you're appreciated. And we have so much passion. Like, everything that we do with so much passion. And it's just like, you know, you can't teach this stuff. Like, you can't teach somebody to love the way that we love, or to serve the way that we serve. It's just an amazing experience to just be a part of that, and to be on the receiving end, but also being able to give it back, knowing that, you know, all the time you may not get what you're giving in return.
And that goes back to the beginning of this of our discussion. It feels so good to celebrate not just yourself, but everyone. I felt like that was our graduation. I love that. It gave us joy to be able to help your mom do everything to bring her vision into life. Because it was like the least we could do, based on the fact that there was distance between us, you know. And of course there was a lot of time in between the last time we've seen. So it was all hands on deck. And that's because Yes, I feel like every graduation is a graduation for me too, and for each one of us individually, you know. That's what it feels like. So it's happy times. And it's funny to hear y'all like it's not a big deal. And I guess depending on the person you are, and a lot of us kind of like that, you know, Tina hate all kind of light being shined on her. This one does too, you know. But like you said, there are times where even if you don't like it, we must do it for ourselves. Like you just show up and we're going to celebrate this accomplishment. It's major, it's big. I didn't say one of these tests that you took to pass any of these classes, but the fact that you did that you pushed through, you struggled through, and you came up on the other side of the situation, that's like a payday for the whole family. You know. So, oh yes, wouldn't have missed it for anything.
We come from a great family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for another Testimony Tuesday. I hope you were blessed by all the wisdom and jewels that Kennedy and Darvia were dropping for us. Remember to be kind, to give love, and to be honest with people, because honesty is important, and that is somewhat of a foundation of relationships and
staying humble.
Staying humble, yes. So thank you again for talking to me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jazz. We enjoyed it. Anytime I talk to you, it's a pleasure.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Until next time, join us next week.